everyone, and welcome to our info session. I'm Carly Beard. I'm from Loyalist Marketing, Communications, and Recruitment team, and I have here with me today Karen Deveau, Program Coordinator of Loyalist Culinary Skills and Culinary Management Programs. We're going to be talking all about the Culinary Skills Program, which is a one-year certificate program, as well as the Culinary Management Program, which is a two-year diploma program. Thank you so much for being here with us, Karen. We really appreciate it. Let's start a little bit about you. Can you tell us about your industry background?
Sure, of course. So thank you for having me. I'm so excited to be doing this. It's a wonderful opportunity to reach out. So my background, I am from Toronto, and I worked primarily in fine dining in Toronto for about 10 years. So restaurants and then high-end catering. I was a private chef for a prominent family. And in 2003, I moved to Prince Edward County, where I opened several restaurants and a gourmet food shop. And the focus of those projects was largely local seasonal food. So working very closely with wineries and local producers, lots of exciting stuff.
I know that the culinary program at Loyalist is really exciting and unique. Can you tell us a little bit about the one-year culinary skills program?
Absolutely. The Culinary Skills Program is designed to give learners sort of an in-depth look at all of the classic techniques of cooking. So we have our program mapped to the apprenticeship standards, and what that means is that our learners are exposed to, in some way, whether they actually produce the dishes or they watch a demonstration, they are exposed to most of the outcomes that are part of the ministry Red Seal. And through that, they have exposure to all the techniques, all the ingredients, and they're able to understand not only how, but why. So in terms of hands-on, we have a really well-rounded, small class size environment for the learners to actually sort of learn the techniques and learn the recipes themselves. But they're also at the same time, we have a complementary theoretical component as well. So we try to link up the theory classes to what the students are actually doing in the kitchen so that it makes sense, because we recognize that many of our learners focus on the hands-on approach. And so, we try to back up the how with the why, and hopefully the two sort of meet in the middle and create success.
I love that. And the backing up the how with the why. I think that's a really important part of practical learning.
It really is. We recognize that, and we know that, most people that select culinary as something that they're interested in pursuing on a professional level, they tend to be hands-on learners. And so, all of our class sizes, both in the first year and the second year, are very small, the hands-on classes. So we limit our hands-on labs to 16 students at a time, and that allows the students to have the one-on-one attention of the instructors and the technicians, and actually figure out, if and when they make mistakes, what went wrong. And we want the students to figure that stuff out sort of before they go into the paid workforce. So, that's what we're there for. That's what the environment's there for, and that's what we do in those classes.
And that brings up an interesting point as well. What kind of jobs does the one-year certificate program prepare students for?
The one-year certificate is really, it's designed to fully prepare a student for an entry-level job in a kitchen. So, the second year is what really is going to help students get into management level positions and into, sort of an ownership situation. But with the one-year certificate, the students have been exposed to all of the culinary outcomes. So they've either learned about or prepared all of those dishes. And then they have the firm understanding of the theoretical component. So again, an entry-level position, we do have some of the students, they'll stop after that and they'll get the remainder of their experience on the job. But yeah, it's definitely advisable to come back for the second year. The other thing is, after the first year, a lot of our students go on into the military system, and so they complete their learning there.
And you did mention that a lot of the time after finishing the culinary skills program, students do transition into the culinary management program. Can you kind of speak to that second year and how students refine their skills there?
Absolutely. So it's really funny because very often we'll have a lot of students come in who sign up for the culinary skills program, so for the 1 year. But after being in the environment for a year, they don't want to leave. And they want to stay and they want to get that second year under the belt. I think they start to recognize that the repetition that they get from coming back for that second year is really, really valuable. Plus all of the management type information that they learn in the second year. So, the human resource management and the marketing and the profit and loss management, all of those pieces sort of help to really round out the edges of the professional that we turn out. And plus it's just fun, and they want to come back and they want to have that second year. So once the students complete that first year of culinary skills successfully, they are absolutely free to change their minds and join us for that second year. And what happens in that second year is they go through the same sort of rotation through the lunch and dinner shifts at our Resto 213, so the a la carte experience. But when they come back in that second year, they're placed in a position of leadership. So each of the stations of the kitchen are divided up, and the students rotate through each of those stations. So the appetizer station, which we call the garde-manger, the line, which is where the entrees come out from, the bake shop, where obviously the pastries and all the sweets and the breads and things come from, and front of house. So the students are actually in the front serving. And when they come back for that second year, there is a second year student who's in charge of the station. So by then they've experienced all of the stations as a first year student, so they know the skills, but we're developing them to be managers and leaders. And so, early on in the semester, in the fall, when the second years come back, we do some leadership training with them so that they actually understand how to be a leader. And then we support them along the way, and they have the opportunity to recognize how far they've come with their own skills development. And then they by the end of the year, they blossom into leaders who are truly ready to go into the industry and be contributing members of a kitchen management team. It's quite a beautiful experience to watch.
That's really interesting, the way that you foster leadership through the program. Can you speak a little bit to the styles of cooking that students are learning?
Absolutely. So our outcomes are largely based in classic French cuisine. And the reason for that is because our program is mapped to the apprenticeship standards. And so when a student completes the 2-year culinary management program at Loyalist, they've satisfied the in-school component for their Red Seal. And so, if they wanted to go on to complete that internationally recognized certification, they can go and find an accredited chef and finish doing their apprenticeship that way. So we base our teaching in that, but that's not to say that we only cook sort of stodgy, old school French cuisine. Not so. Our menus are developed and written by our chefs, and we have an amazing faculty team with a wide variety of backgrounds. And so, the dishes that the students are creating, the core of them is from that sort of classic French technique, but then, we recognize and incorporate the international flavors on all levels. So dishes and menus from all parts of the world. We recognize evolving consumer trends in terms of, gluten intolerances and sort of different, more healthy ways to eat. So we incorporate, I think, what consumers are looking for more now. Instead of sort of maybe heavy French sauces, they're looking for something lighter and healthier, but they still want to eat interesting foods. When we have our guest chefs for the Art of Flavor series, that's another way that we sort of round out the kinds of menus that the students are exposed to, and they're able to see, you know, techniques and styles and dishes from virtually all the corners of the world. Also in the second year program, we welcome the students to try out or to bring their own recipes to class, and you know, based on our international student population, we're able to learn some cool dishes from them as well. So it becomes more of a sharing opportunity in the second year, but definitely a wide variety of dishes that are taught, both in the sort of savory department as well as the bake shop. So, you know, our pastry and baking components of our program are very, very strong. Chef John is absolutely brilliant at what he does. And, you know, the kinds of things that the students are learning are way beyond what's required in the outcomes. But again, the focus is fun and experience, and really just delighting the students in what they're learning.
I know that one of the things that was really exciting when I started out working at Loyalist was Resto 213, the on-campus gourmet restaurant that Loyalist College has. And students in the culinary program do get to experience a variety of restaurant roles through that. Can you tell us a little bit about how our on-campus restaurant is used as a learning environment?
We're super proud of the way we run Resto 213. So every single Thursday and Friday, the students are a part of the restaurant experience, and that is a classroom. And so the students prepare lunches and dinners every week of their time at Loyalist, and that's something that's quite unique. So I know that at most colleges, the students will rotate through the college restaurant. A lot of it would be staffed by techs, and while we do have chefs and techs in the environment, the whole thing is prepared and served by our students, and it's highly unique. But that kind of repetition and that kind of ongoing experience really allows the students to understand what it takes to operate a busy restaurant successfully.
I love that, and I think it's such an amazing learning tool. Well, thank you so much, Karen, for taking some time to talk to us about Loyalist Culinary Skills Program and the Culinary Management Program. We really appreciate it, and I hope you have a great afternoon.
My pleasure. Thank you so much.